works. It's my own build. All of the builds I do are my own builds. I don't, I'm kind of like isolated from standard, so I play different. And Koreans do this all the time. They do this proxy base. Oh, you're gonna get it a lot. You're gonna get it a lot. After TY beat Neeb with it 4 times, being that he did a very aggressive intro and then all of a sudden slowed Neeb down, and Neeb couldn't find a way to actually keep harass him. You're gonna face this a lot. Now Neeb was looking for the proxies. I don't look for the proxies. I already know the proxies are there. That's not the question. Is not that where is it at? It's what are you gonna do to counter it? So you're gonna face this a lot because of that. It's a very popular build now that TY did it, you know, over and over again. Just like versus Scarlet, someone did a bunker rush, like over and over, like multiple games, and she lost. They're gonna be doing this all the time, right? So I always start with a little aggression. I start off with like some cannon rush aggression sometimes. So I start off with my pylon, right? You get your pylon, then you got this Terran right here that wants to make his, and this is where TY did it anyway, so he's copying exactly where TY did his racks. Now this racks, like Artosis says, this racks doesn't allow the tech to come out, so it's just going to be a Reaper from this racks location. I mean, he's even doing it in the same place. This is, I mean, he's not even being original. This person right here, Vanish. So what happens is, right? Well, that's the thing though. If it ain't broken, why fix it, right? Well, it's broken because I figured out how to counter it. So the problem for them is they don't know it's broken because nobody's really fixed it. Nobody's really figured it out. And the way I do it is that I start off with the cannon intro, right? So I make my pylon here, and then I get my cannons here. But if the probe comes in, right, and this is a setup. This is a two situation setup. It's set up to do a cannon rush, but it's also set up to do a gate rush if he doesn't have a Rax, because that means his Rax is somewhere in the map, right? So you come in, you don't see a Rax. Most likely, you're going to be looking for the next 2 keys. You're going to be looking for the gases. He's going to have 2 gases coming up, which is going to be telling you it's going to be the proxy for sure, 100%. Now, where he's going to get his factory, it really depends. It could be at your side of the map with Cyclone play, or it could be on his side of the map with the Cyclone play. So once I know that it's going to be a 2 gas, you know, the second probe right here comes in, and this probe goes and makes 2 gateways, and we make it outside of his visual range, right? Now the next thing you want to do is to counter the Reaper, because the Reaper is going to come out next. So you make the pylon here, right here, so you can make your cannon here, and that'll take care of the Reaper. Reaper's gone, situation's over, countered on the Reaper part. So now you just got to worry about the Cyclone play. So the question is the factory going to be built at his base, or is it going to be built at your side of the base, right? So I come over here and I'm looking for the factory at the same time as I'm just kind of annoying them. And I'm still kind of just setting up my gateways. Now I'm looking up here because I want to see if an SCV came up here and started making this factory, because the next thing they want to do if they're making it at the base is normally they're going to make it right here. They're going to make a supply depot and a factory, wall this up, right? Protect himself. But this particular case, I believe he was trying to hide it from me. So there goes the cannon coming up. This is going to deny the Reaper. He's going to try to wall up the front, right? he's got a supply depot, another supply depot. The next thing is one more supply depot right here. Even if it's, you know, partially done. The thing is, I gotta get my gateways, my zealots out of my gateways and go inside. Now you can't let him build and block this intro. So you make a pylon right here. He doesn't know what it's for, but this pylon is to make sure that he doesn't build anything here and create a wall. Because if not, he can repair this for days and get the factory up. But the other thing is he can't make the factory block here either. So now, if he's going to make the factory, it's going to have to be somewhere in his base. So he's deciding to make it here. Because he can't make it here anymore. It's not viable. So I cancel this. Now I split two directions, right? There's two directions. Now that I have the pylon in the center. So that means that the zealot, he would have to make a supply depot here, and he has to make a supply depot right here to wall this up. But then I'll cancel the pylon, then he has to get a supply depot in the middle. That'd be 3 supply depots he would have to make next. And that's all going to be going to money, so he won't do it. And that's what this is for. It's just to keep this open. Alright. So then I come over here. I look for the factory. There goes the factory. And then I make a pylon. And it's a setup, right? This pylon is not going to be... We're not making cannons out of this until my zealots come out. Because once the zealots come out, then the zealots will keep the SCVs occupied. And then I can make cannons here while the zealots are occupying the SCVs. That way I can counter the factory. Reaper came up here, can't do nothing because there's a cannon. Now if there's no factory here, if I didn't see a factory right here, then I wouldn't have to use this pylon right here. And all my cannons are going to be up in the front, which I normally make about three cannons and a pylon. That'll take care of the double cyclones. If he decides to make the factory up here and then get his cyclones and try to come to the front. I'll make three cannons. That'll deny the cyclones from coming up and killing it. Then I'll make more cannons afterwards. But for the meantime, you would make 3 cannons and another pylon, and then you keep popping out these zealots right here. And then he has no choice but to try to come back over here if he has the cyclones outside to attack my gateways. But then that's where I'll start making my cannons here. That's why I make the gateways on the left side instead of the right side of the pylon, because the pylon is going to allow me to get cannons, and in that way the cannons will be protecting my zealots to get inside and keep continuing the harass if the factory isn't inside the base. But factory is inside the base. Pylons, probes are here. This pylon's up. He's gonna have to watch out for cannons now. So I make my cannon inside here. Now he's got no choice. He's gonna have to watch out with the cyclone in regards to cannons. He won't be able to protect this base because the cannons will be up before the cyclones, and I'll be making another pylon here, and then my zealots that are coming out 2 at a time will keep this contained until pretty much he doesn't have enough funds. Then I'll come back over here and keep making more stuff. So now, in case his factory was gonna stay here and produce cyclones, I was gonna make these cannons right here so that the cyclone gets trapped. Then he can't get out. So for the meantime, that's the objective. But he left, so I cancel everything, and I leave one cannon to take care of the supply depots, because you want to cap them. Now here he was making a bunker, and had his marines right here. So I mean, the game plan was pretty much to recall my zealots over to this side until I get stalkers, which I'll need a gas and a cybernetics core. Zealots over here protecting the bases from being exploited checking the outside bases. Factory lifts off. Now I'm just stalling right here till I get my gas and my cybernetics core up, so I can get a stalker up. Then my zealots in the back come in. And then I get my stalkers from both sides, here and here. He was really hoping to get the mules. He's got his cyclones, but I got the battery shield coming up. My battery shield will counter the cyclone play. And then GG. So it's gonna be happening a lot. Hey, ¿cómo estás, Gundam? Yeah, if you guys follow this, you guys can counter it. But a lot of people don't play dirty like me. So you'll probably maybe get an immortal or something, and or some battery shields to try to beat it. But yeah, the best thing you can do is try to keep your probe alive here if you're not going to do this build, which is my build, and then check where the factory is, if the factory is going to be here or not. For a standard build, if you're going to do a standard build, you want to know if it's going to be a far cyclone walk or if it's going to be really close to your base. But that's how you beat this build. The other build is the Nexus Rush that I just did. Whenever they do this build, you could do that build or you could do my Nexus Rush, because my Nexus Rush counters cyclone play. You'll get a Nexus. It'll force him to get a factory at home. He's gonna have a Reaper. You're gonna have to just make sure you got a defense on against the Reaper, and then you recall all your probes and zealots over when the Reaper comes to his base, and now the Reaper has to come all the way back home, try to defend it while he's getting his army crushed. And then the Cyclone normally doesn't come up, because by the time you recall, you surround the factory, and if they're making a Cyclone and you surround their factory with probes and zealots, the Cyclone actually can't come out, even if it's being built and it's almost built. Like when it's already ready to come out, if you surround it with probes and zealots, the Cyclone can't come out. So then he has to lift off, and sometimes that's already GG. Or it burns to death, and he's wondering why it's not out yet. He's like, what the hell? It's not out yet. Why isn't it out? It's done. Yeah, so there's a couple ways to beat it. The Nexus Rush and the one that you've seen right here.